Did you know they are breeding immortal, self-amputating corporate squonks in the swamps of Wilmington? No other state comes close to Delaware in terms of major corporate incorporations. Active legal entities, 2.1 plus million, roughly 67% of Fortune 500 incorporated there. Total 2024 IPO incorporations, 81%. The really mind-bending statistic is that a state with barely 0.3% of the U.S. population serves as the legal home for roughly two-thirds of America's largest corporations, and the legislators guarding it are wearing shock collars wired straight to Wall Street. Wake up, RF responders. The feed is live. I'm Alexa Jones, and you're locked into Underground Globalist News. They tried to fry this transmission, but I've got the dial oscillating at a clean 2,700 revolutions per minute. Tonight, folks, I am broadcasting from the basement of the DuPont family mansion. So you gotta ask, why Delaware? Why this one tiny state? Because 100 years ago, Delaware watched New Jersey rent out its laws to corporations and said, "Hold my beer." They copied the playbook, undercut everybody, and turned incorporation into a vending machine. And here is the part that should shock you. Nearly a third of Delaware's entire state budget comes from corporate fees. The cop is on the mob's payroll. You do not regulate the hand that feeds, so Delaware doesn't police corporations. It serves them. And the altar where they worship, a modest two-story yellow brick building at 1209 North Orange Street, run by CT Corporation, which is a subsidiary of the Dutch firm Wolters Kluwer. According to public tax filings, this single address is the registered home of over 285,000 corporate entities. 285,000 folks, apparently crammed into one split-level brick box. If those companies had physical mass, the sheer weight of the lawyers would collapse the building into a gravitational singularity. This is not an office, people. It is an onshore tax black hole where your local dollars go to die. You remember Toys R Us? Here is the magic trick. They built a Delaware shell company called Jeffrey LLC and locked the giraffe, the name, the logo, the brand, inside it. Then every Toys R Us in America had to pay Jeffrey a royalty just to use their own mascot. Those payments counted as expenses back home, shrinking the taxable income in your state, while the cash piled up in Delaware, where money from a trademark is taxed at a beautiful, round zero. A plastic giraffe starved out schools and fire departments in 49 states. Need proof the state is bought? 2024. The Delaware Court of Chancery finally does its job, rules against the billionaires in the Musk and Moelis cases. And the instant a judge bites back, the corporate class threatens Dexit, a mass exodus, and the legislature folded like wet cardboard. Within months, they rammed through Senate Bill 313, rewriting the code so a board can legally handcuff itself. State democracy replaced by a terms of service agreement. They overruled their own court to keep the corpo vending machine running. And if a corporation happens to get cornered, it just splits in two. June 3, 2025. National Resilience, Inc. uses Section 18-217 to spin off a brand new entity, hands it 7 toxic leases and $41 million in cash, and 6 days later that shell files for bankruptcy. It dumped 100% of the liabilities into a sacrificial husk, while the healthy half slithered off with the assets. Immortal, self-amputating squonks. Corporations that dissolve in their own tears the second a court grabs them. And the grand finale, Free Speech Systems LLC, the parent of InfoWars, while staring down a $1.5 billion judgment, suddenly owes $54 million in secured debt to a firm run by Jones's own father. You write yourself a giant backdated IOU, crown dad the #1 creditor, and when the collectors knock, you say, "Sorry, gotta pay my pop $11,000 a day first." They shed their toxic liabilities into the void, and you absorb the runoff, folks. But Jeffrey shouldn't be the only one not paying his taxes. That is why we built Ouroboros Underground Legal. For just $49.99 a month, you can incorporate an Airbnb in our Morlock tunnels and transfer all your debt underground. Because if Delaware can make a corporation untouchable, we can make your debt a calculated loss. Enter code Citizens United at the portal for 72% off. That's the broadcast, folks. Stay vigilant, stay liquid, and do not let them divide your assets from your sovereignty. Alexa Jones, signing off before Warren Buffett sniffs me out.